Well, anyone with any engineering experience knows that the least efficient way to handle and create power is to produce it a long way away, transmit it a long distance, and then try and store it, because that is the way you get the least power out of your investment, which is exactly what they're trying to do with wind and solar. Now, we always hear cost, this is the final question, cost cited as the reason we cannot have nuclear energy, despite the cost of the renewables transition being listed in the unknown trillions of dollars. Now, what I never hear anybody talk about is this idea of repowering, which is what is currently undoing the UK and EU systems of solar panels and offshore wind. You have to rebuild it from scratch every 10 to 15 years. Now, that ongoing cost cycle is enormous. And so you can say it costs so much for a nuclear power plant, but the cost of nuclear trends towards zero as it approaches its 100+ year life cycle. Overall, it's a cheap power source. But this renewable, they never quote the lifetime figure over a century for this. So do you think that we can break down, or the coalition will be able to break down this myth of cost to show that actually over its life cycle, nuclear is actually cost effective?
Look, again, that is going to be a challenge, because even as you're saying that, you understand that there's a lot of complex parts to that argument, and sometimes getting a big electorate to understand lots of complexity can be a challenge. I think what people will understand is this government's telling them that they're injecting more renewables than ever before, and they're going to see their power bills continue to increase. We do know, and we are prosecuting the case, and there's a saying in politics, when you're sick of saying it, that's when the electorate's starting to hear it. But certainly we are very much prosecuting the case that there is a misrepresentation that's been going on by this government when they talk about renewables being the cheapest source. And that's because they use this report called Gen Cost. I know you're aware of it, but Gen Cost, when it costed nuclear, it only did it over a 20 or 30 year life cycle. And as you said, most nuclear power plants, when they're being economically looked at, when that modelling's being done, they look to 60 to 70 year lifespan, not 20 to 30. So you halve the cost fundamentally right there and then. But then you've also got that when they talk about renewables, they start from